The road to hell is being paved by this administration as we move closer to digital ID and digital currency. What's up, everybody? Welcome aboard to Bubba's Bottom Line for Sunday, the 31st of July. And of course, what the year is flying by as the markets continue to run higher suddenly. They changed the rules on recession and all kinds of things going on. But as I said in the opening, the road to hell is being paved as we continue to see our freedoms being taken away one piece at a time. And the final piece of the puzzle will be digital currency and digital ID, which will then eliminate any of your privacy. Anything you do that you may not want somebody else to know you're doing will be gone. Okay. And this is becoming a bigger and bigger problem, not to mention the war on farmers. Okay. We don't pay much attention to that. It's amazing how this administration especially doesn't talk much about changing the rules on recession. Recession in history has always been 2 negative quarters of GDP back to back indicates a recession. Well, they now want to change that rule so they don't have to declare this a recession. Now, you and I, as consumers, know that we're in a recession. So we don't have to listen to what they say. We already know that, yet the markets continue to go higher. And we'll get that in our market report, but they're going higher because of the excess money supply, not because the value, because they're still buying and spending less. But the war on farmers, which is actually really the war to take over the land. Governments want the land. There's an old saying that he who controls, or he or she, I should say, controls the food supply, controls the world. Okay. So basically, global governments around are working on destroying the independent farmer, okay, and taking him into government farms, okay. Now, that's not going to happen tomorrow, but it's already kind of happening. And in fact, at the World Economic Forum, they've been talking about the global war on farmers, okay, and this is a problem, okay. Again, we've seen it happen in our retail world. Right now, where are you going to go? You go to Amazon, you go to Walmart, basically. Okay, there is no competition. This administration has systematically destroyed competition. So Google's got no competition, Facebook's got no competition, Twitter's got no competition, Walmart's got no competition, and Amazon's got no competition. Okay, so what does that mean for you, the consumer? It means you're going to be paying more eventually. Okay, that's what that really means. Okay, forget about what it means today. Over time, it means that the fewer the competitors, the shittier the quality of goods you're going to be buying, and the more you're going to be paying for them. Okay, that's what you're going to see. And of course, this digital ID and digital currency destroys your freedom. They know where you're spending all your money. It'll destroy more jobs, more professions, and yet here we are right now. We can't get people to work. Okay. Companies are offering to pay double the minimum wage, maybe triple in some cases. They still can't get people to work. Okay. And the illegal immigration is got to stop. Okay. I don't know who wants to have the illegals here. Okay. Again, my ancestry, they came through Ellis Island. Okay. Through Europe. People that coming and crossing the border. We just had Arizona just arrested 156 border crossers, which means probably 1,156 got across. But out of the 156, 116 were already convicted felons in this country. Yet here they are back again. Now, is that what we want? I don't understand how people aren't outraged, especially in California, when 70% of their state budget goes to funding illegal aliens. Okay. They use our hospitals like a doctor's office because the emergency room's got to treat them. Now, again, I have no problem with everybody coming over, but can't we do it legally? It is on the books. In fact, everybody yelled at President Trump for what he was doing when the rules and the laws he were following were the laws that Obama put in, but he didn't want to follow them. Okay, so what is the benefit to this country to let illegals continue to flood in? There is none. Okay, it's criminal. Okay, and of course, Manchin finally caved a little bit, but we're going to have a 15% corporate minimum tax. You know, taxes should be based on profit and sales. Okay, the rich already pay the most amount of taxes, and did AOC pay her tax bill yet? We haven't heard about that. It's amazing how we don't hear about any of that crap, okay? But we keep hearing about, the rich, tax the rich, tax the rich. Well, again, but we haven't seen Build Back Better. We've seen make this country a hell of a lot worse and a hell of a lot weaker. As, of course, our fearless leader flew 7,000 miles, okay, to talk to Saudi Arabia about something that we could do right here, okay? And it would not change the carbon footprint. Okay, but let's continue to beg our enemies for oil. And of course, let's continue to drain our SPR, okay, which is oil for war. Okay, the Strategic Petroleum Reserve was instilled for wartime. Okay, and yet we're selling that oil to China. Okay, housing is collapsing. Now, again, this is always the first start. Don't be fooled by the rally in the markets like it means something. It means nothing right now. Okay. But housing is collapsing. Interest rates are rising. The Fed hiked 75 basis points. Now, that really doesn't affect you from a basis because really the banks like that when they raise because the banks get to make more money because they work on a spread from the Fed rate until the rate they lend to you and they tack on. So we've got rising rates, okay, which makes rising mortgages, which makes less housing sales because people believe that they could have gotten $300,000 yesterday and now they can only get $250. But again, it goes back to what the monthly payment is. So don't think that housing is going to suddenly get better as interest rates rise. It's going to get worse. Okay, very simple. And of course, the major flaw in this administration in their thought of electric vehicle charging stations, Biden's charging stations. We do not have the power grid here to handle the amount of power they need to use to create those charging stations. We are not equipped. We couldn't be ready for 30 years to do what they're proposing. In the meantime, they continue to torch us with high inflation for no reason. Okay. Now, I'm not saying we shouldn't prepare for it, even though I don't believe in climate change, okay? And you can look it up on the LIVESTOCK index, okay? But you can also just look at the planet of Mars, okay? Mars has a daily range in temperature of 75 degrees Fahrenheit to minus 150, okay? They have 95% more carbon dioxide there than we have here, okay? So where's the climate change? Again, to me, it's a hoax. It's just part of it, but it is a way to get the Great Reset, which becomes a bigger problem. And that ties us into the FBI and their manipulation of the narrative, okay, of domestic terrorism to fit the Biden narrative. Okay. Now, again, I can't say it's Biden's narrative. I don't even think he knows where he's at. But at the end of the day, you've got the FBI, which we saw what they did during the Trump election. Okay, so you can imagine what they're capable of, right? They tell you have to be neutral, but everybody picks a side. Okay, but they're continuing. This violence has never been worse in this country than it is today. Okay, we've never had so much hatred in this country than we've had today. Okay, now again, you can say what you want about Trump. During Trump's administration, we had record people working. We had record jobs among the minorities. Okay, we had no unemployment. No unemployment benefits. We didn't need them. So all of a sudden now, okay, you've got the narrative that is creating more problems. Okay, and of course, Senator Sherrod Brown blames the Fed chair for misleading Biden on inflation. Now, again, was inflation hard for anybody here to understand and see? Okay, we're going to blame. Why is it that this administration blames somebody for everything? Why is it never their fault? Okay, I can fix inflation in 10 minutes. Okay, give me 10 minutes and I'll fix the inflation. Okay, I'll take us back down to where we were. I will take us back down to where we're prospering instead of struggling. Okay, now why can't they see that? That this is not a complex problem. This is about a second grade math problem. Okay, that can easily be. So we're blaming the Fed chair for the inflation narrative when everybody in the world, except for this administration and Janet Yellen and Chair Powell, who said that inflation was transitory, recognized what was going on. Did you think that taking gas from $2 to $5 a gallon was not going to create a problem, considering 80% of our consumption is through fossil fuels? So, Sherrod Brown, you're an idiot. Okay. Food inflation continues to rise. I was at the grocery store yesterday. I couldn't believe it. I buy the same stuff all the time, up to 20%. Okay. They're quoting up 10. I'm telling you it's more than 10. Okay. I guess maybe depending what you buy, but I'm a pretty basic, simple eater. So, I can't get it. Right. And, of course, the troubles continue to rage on in Russia and Ukraine with no real solution. Of course, Putin is now, holding up on gas. And there's been a slight little delay with Nord 1, which is the natural gas supplier to Germany, which everybody told Germany, don't completely give all your gas there. But of course, we couldn't supply them anyways because we don't want to take it out of our ground. Okay. We don't want to, God forbid we should help everybody else in the world and take care of ourselves. Let's give the power to China. And of course, China is drawing the same red line to Taiwan that Russia drew to Ukraine. Okay. But, Germany's in very big trouble right now, economically. And of course, they have to now shower. I think there's almost a mandate you can only shower every other day, and they stink. They need to have more. They need to shower more. Okay. But again, obviously, the hot water heater, everything starts to run up, but we continue to ignore the simple solutions in life. And I don't understand why we can't just use what is simple. Okay. Again, we are going to use oil. We are going to use fossil fuels until we don't. And that we are 30 to 40 years away from a complete switch. Okay. These countries and states can make all their statements they want that by 2030, but there is no way they're going to make those dates. Okay. This is, again, a simple problem. You have to first attack and fix the power grid, because don't be surprised when sometime in the next year or two, our power grid gets hacked by Russia or China and they shut the United States down. Okay. When you have no leadership, when you have weakness in your White House, who has no backbone, it does lead to much bigger problems. But more on that of course, in our commentary. But I really believe that we have to really consider and take a look at the war on farmers. Okay. Because again, if we give up the food supply, okay, that is our first step to destruction of this country. And we're already probably at halftime. Okay. If you look at this as a football game, we got to make some adjustments at the half or we're going to lose this game. Okay. Because you can see what is going on. And if you can't see the problem, okay, then you got a problem, because these issues are continuing to grow right in front of us. This is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, July the 30th. I can't believe July the 31st. However, there is football Sunday, first preseason game, the Hall of Fame game. In the meantime, we're going to step out here for a break, and we'll be back with our market report right after the break. Bubba's Bottom Line, Sunday, July the 31st. Well, kids, look, again, as I always talk to you about, some of our sponsors, our sponsors help us put the show on, and they help us with the Vegas show because it's an event that is, obviously very costly to put on. And we just want people to come and get educated. We'll be at the Circa this year, December 6th through 8th. And certainly if you're interested in coming, you can reach out to me for the registration. It's $9.97 on early bird till Friday, August 5th. And we'll also be live streaming it for $500 early bird till August 5th. But you want to check it out, just send me an email at bubba@bubbatrading.com. And in the meantime, this will be our 10th year of we call it Bubba-Palooza. And of course, don't forget about our brokerage partners. Again, I have other brokers, just to give you full disclosure. Capital Trading Group is the only one I would use for futures and commodities. For our letter of direction, they're the ones I can approve because they do the jobs right. They get the trades done on time, and everything works perfectly with them. They got the best customer service. They handle 9 of my 10 accounts. And they are partners with us on the Day Trader's Dreamer. So check them out, info.capitaltradinggroup.com/Bubba. That's info.capitaltradinggroup.com/Bubba. And if I'm speaking too fast, it's scrolling along the bottom or on the side. And of course, for equities and options, there's nothing like trade your brokerage. Look, let me just tell you something. It's $10 a month. Okay. Again, you want to talk about inflation. This helps you with deflation. The amount of commissions you save over a year's period of time is unbelievable. I mean, there's people that save 10, 11, 12, 15, 20,000. I save over $100,000 a year. But anyways, Trader is great. They're going to have cryptocurrencies. We can automate our equity portfolios with them, and that is at no charge to you. It's part of your membership. And our hedging, we can equate that too if you get a hedging license, okay, which again is reasonable to pay for. And of course, all your trading is done automatically. Try.trader.com/Bubba. That's try.trader.com/Bubba. And our high school program, which we continue to try and rebuild, it's a challenge. Unfortunately in this country, our school teachers don't want to change either. Okay. They like the crap in teaching shit. So, but help us out. We're going to make it, give it the old college effort. That's patreon.com/Bubba Trading. That's patreon.com/Bubba Trading. Now let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line and, of course, our market report. Welcome back. It is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, the 31st of July. And in the meantime, markets continue to soar. It is frightening. Okay. I mean, how many people out there would believe that these markets could be running higher under the circumstances and in the conditions that we have? But that's the point. That's why we don't try to predict the markets. Okay. This is exactly why I tell you predicting is for idiots. Okay. If you try to predict, you lose. Okay. Follow the paper, follow the price action, follow the tape. Okay. The markets right now want to go higher. I mean, what does it mean? Nothing, because it's not overcoming inflation. But at the end of the day, the markets themselves are going higher. And if you're on the wrong side, you're getting destroyed. Okay. And for the week, the Dow, S&P, NASDAQ, and Russell all exploded up. And I would expect this week to see probably more consolidation. Obviously, the trend has not changed. However, the angle in which they have sped up and gone straight up indicates more likely there'll be some sideways action coming, if not some pullback. But I don't think dramatic. I still stand by the next big sell-off will be 60% plus, but it doesn't mean it's coming tomorrow. Okay. The oil markets, which we're still long the indexes, the oil markets or the crude oil market, which we're still short. Okay. It was a moderate week last week. Wasn't crazy, one way or the other. But again, it was kind of painful as it looked like it was kept trying to go higher, and it was a constant battle, but it kept showing weakness late. But for the week, it rallied about $2-3. But it was over 100 again, and it did close at 98. We're still short, and the trend actually is really still down. If you take a look at it on a weekly chart, you'll see that it's still a pretty nasty trend. But I still think that before it's all said and done, we're going to make all-time new highs here and maybe even hit as high as 200 a barrel. I mean, 150 would be new highs, and I think there's a shot for 200. I think these commodity markets are just waiting and getting ready to explode. Natural gas, which we're long, natural gas had, a moderate week. It's been very, very tenuous at best. It actually spiked almost to $10 before closing at like $8.25. We're still long, and again, I think that we're coming into natural gas season in Vegas right now, the monsoon season. But as you get to these, the probability of more cold, more storms, natural gas has a tendency to get nuts. Okay, so and right now we're still long, and the dollar continues to run. Now it has come back, quite a bit from its highs, but it's still at 106. Okay, and we're still long. The euro currency is going to go below par. I would not be surprised. I'd give it another couple of weeks and we'll be looking at 90 some cents and on its way to 88. We are still short the euro currency. Bitcoin, it looks like it's getting ready to break out. In fact, we just reversed our Bitcoin position to long. And of course, I made it full disclosure that I already own, in the wallets as well. But in the futures market, we're long Bitcoin as well. Gold and silver, look pretty solid all of a sudden, right? They were in trouble. They're in trouble. And now they look pretty good. Now we're still short. But it does look, this could be the appearance of a bottom. And we'll see. Again, we don't predict. We let the price action tell us. And it's getting closer to a potential reversal. Okay. But I share this with you that, again, a rally's a rally. Let's see if it can follow through. The patterns are still pretty ugly. And we still haven't really broken the downtrend. So we're still short gold and silver, okay, although they are much stronger than what they were last week at this time, okay. The copper markets, again, very close to reversing. We're still short. It did have what I looked at as like a blow-off bottom, and I thought that maybe that might be, give us a time to trigger, and we're getting ready. But I think some of them are probably very close to reversing over to the long side. But again, we are still short for now. Bonds and notes, we're long and they continue to go higher. Now, I don't understand what makes them continue to go higher. Obviously, they have, those are directly correlated to interest rates, and interest rates are going higher and bonds are going higher. So one of them's wrong. Okay. But again, that's what we're watching and we can't fight it. Okay. I hate being long bonds here, but I am. Okay. And as we take a look at the grain markets, okay, grains had a little bit of a rally now. Now they're pretty wild. In fact, on Friday, wheat was up big and then it closed down. Okay, corn was up big and get back towards unchanged. I think the grains are just waiting to explode. Okay, again, we're short. We're going to reverse soybeans either tonight or tomorrow, depending on when you do it. But I believe grains are going a lot higher. Okay, I believe the commodity markets themselves are going a lot higher. All the softs, I think, are going to explode. I think a lot of the selling we've seen has been some of the fund money trying to force some liquidation on farmers. Okay, because they pay so much to borrow their money. I think they're forcing it. In the meantime, they were up across the board last week and we're short across the board. But now we will be long, or we'll be reversing soybeans again tonight or tomorrow. The meat, the protein complex, they look pretty good, but I don't see a lot of room to the upside. We're long them all, but I don't see a lot of room to the upside. Okay, I see a stable market that isn't going to. I don't think it's going to break down. But there was one headline I happened to see that made me think they might break down, and that's that there's news are going to run a lot higher, which is usually the sign of the end. But in the meantime, they look pretty good. But I don't know that there's a tremendous. I mean, I wouldn't. If it wasn't part of my algorithm, I wouldn't be trading them right now. I would just sit on the sidelines because I don't think there's a lot of room to the upside. And like I said, I don't think they're breaking either. I just don't think there's much room to go. Okay. In the softs, cotton is getting ready to probably change again. It got hammered. It's down 60% or 50% from its highs. Now, again, I think another update will probably reverse. But right now, we're still short cotton. We're still short coffee, which is lower. We're short sugar, which is lower. We're short cocoa, which is lower. And we're long OJ. So, again, I think commodities are going to explode. Okay. There's a dramatic food shortage. There's a whole bunch of things going on that we never hear about. And when we finally hear about it, it'll be too late. But I'm telling you now. Okay. Like I told you about the recession that we were going to have about 6 months ago, even though they won't admit to it, we're in a recession. 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP. Okay. In the meantime, again, trading isn't very tough. We trade every morning. We have our day trader's dream, which we trade, which trades in an hourly signal. Been very quiet. We made money, but very quiet. We day trade every morning for an hour. We make money, but it's been very quiet and very challenging. I'm just saying to y'all, be patient, be prepared, and remember to be ready and not to get too aggressive. This is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, the 31st of July. We're going to step out here for our final break and come back with, naturally, my commentary. Bubba's Bottom Line, July 31st. Well, kids, I'm not going to go through and read everything to you, but I am going to remind you about our Vegas event. We call it Bubba Palooza, 3 days of training with a cocktail party, opening it up, and then 3 days of hard training for trading. I trade live with you all over there, teaching. And this year, I'm going to teach something I've never taught before. I'm excited. Okay. And it's going to take some time to learn it, but it's going to be, it could change your trading life. Okay. And of course, our brokerage partners. I do have other brokers. Capital Trading Group, scrolling on the bottom and on the sides, Trade Your Brokerage, and of course, our high school program. Now let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line and my commentary. Todd Bubba Horowitz, Bubba's Bottom Line. Let's get back to it right now. Welcome back. It is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday and football Thursday. All right. Football season is here. Fantasy drafts, gambling, the whole, we got the World's Fair. But in the meantime, unfortunately, the administration in power is trying to take everything away from us, including the World's Fair. Okay. And I think that it's a tragedy that we sit here watching the Biden administration, and again, I can't call it for the Biden, but the administration dismantling the United States of America. I think it's a tragedy that he goes over to Saudi Arabia and begs for oil. I think it's a tragedy that he lets Chairman Xi push him around from China. I think it's a tragedy of what's going on in Russia, which should have been prevented by a strong leader. The weakness that this country is showing is not the United States of America that we all know and love. Okay. And we are opening ourselves up and subjecting ourselves to the Great Reset. We are taking away our true ability to be capitalist and earn money for what you can do better than somebody else. And I think that nothing should ever take away the competitive spirit. And to me, I find it disturbing and depressing that this administration wants to take away all your creativity, all of your freedom, and have you be like a bunch of sheep. Bubba's Bottom Line, Todd Bubba Horowitz. Everybody have a great week. As always, I thank you so much for being a part of the show. We'll see you back here, tomorrow with Bubba's Daily Update, but of course, next Sunday with another Bubba's Bottom Line. Thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend. We'll see you later.